If you're a new author, there are some mistakes that you definitely need to avoid to make sure that you're getting ahead inside of your career and not falling into the pitfalls that I see most authors falling into when they get into this industry. The first of which is talking about your book before there's a buy link. If you are out on social media and you are chatting about your book, but people don't have the opportunity to buy it then and there, by the time it eventually gets around to being published, they will have forgotten about your book. They will think, oh, I thought this book was already out. I can wait another 7 months to read it because it doesn't matter and I've been waiting so long. It never works to your benefit to talk about your book before there is a buy link. Make sure you have that pre-order link or the direct buy link ready to go before you whisper a single thing about this book. And this is also incredibly important when it comes to traditional publishing. If you plan on querying this book, don't run your mouth about it online because they are not going to pick up something that's already been publicly talked about. They want to make sure they have control over how the narrative is designed around your book marketing. So you have to be very, very aware that if you're talking about this in public, you're losing sales and you're potentially costing yourself a book contract. So hush, hush until it is time to have that buy link out and ready to go. That's going to get you more sales and a stronger viewership with those readers when it comes to the content you're creating. Another thing that I see a lot of authors do, even the really experienced authors, is not reading the terms of service of the companies that you're working with. And that can be anything from the printers and distributors you're using, to the companies that you're doing your graphic design with, to the people you're helping market and you're working with them in that space. Read the terms of service, read the terms of service, read the terms of service, know what you are and are not allowed to do. A lot of people will get into situations with companies and then realize they can't use it for commercial content. You can't use their graphics. You can't use their services for commercial content, and anything talking about your books or your author life is commercial content. So before you pay for subscriptions, before you work with different entities to promote you, understand the terms of service. Know what you're allowed to do and not allowed to do. I know it's a lot of reading, but for the love of all things, read it because it can cost you dearly if you don't. Another big mistake that I see a lot of new authors do is really long pre-orders on your books. If you do not have a highly established and curated fandom, you do not need a long pre-order. That will kill your book's success. Please, for the love of all things, if you are doing a pre-order, especially as a newbie, very short amount of time. You know, I talk a lot about the benefits of surprise releases and how that ends up on more lists than those pre-orders do. You can make the decision for yourself, but if you're going to do a pre-order, short. 3 months is a very long pre-order if you are a new author and you're not with a big traditional publisher. It's a really long time. I would recommend like a month. 1 month is going to be better for you. You, of course, can make your own decisions. It's trial and error. You can see what happens. But until you have an established fan base, nobody's showing up for your pre-order. So it's better to just get that book out in the world and then market it. That's when you're going to start seeing those sales. And I also want you to be very, very careful of your book blurbs. So many new authors don't study what makes a good book blurb. Most authors complain about how hard it is to write a blurb. And if you don't do it well, it will cost you sales. So if you have not studied the great ones, if you do not know the main points of your book, if you're not very clearly and specifically giving a good quality blurb, that you're also checking for your editing, like it has to be grammatically correct. You should not have the same word 2 sentences in a row. There's things that you should and shouldn't be doing for your blurb. And if you're not doing it right, it's going to cost you sales. I just saw a newer author who I was chatting with and I looked up their book and their blurb was terrible. It was not good. And it's not leading to good sales for them. And I mean, they're doing okay because their social media marketing is okay, but their blurb was a disaster. So if you are jumping into the world of author life, study blurbs. Have somebody with experience go over it. Hire somebody. Developmental editors can help you with this. There are people you can pay to help refine your blurbs. There are people who educate on this for free on YouTube and in Facebook groups. There's a lot of information you can glean, and if you don't, it can cost you. Your book blurb is as important as your book cover. Your book cover is going to be what makes or break your sales. It's going to bring people to the page. And if your blurb is not good, they're not going to stay around. So blurbs are important, even more so than you know. And if you don't study, it can cost you. But relatedly, I also see a lot of new authors who don't know how to pitch their book. If you cannot give me your elevator pitch for your book, if you cannot in 2 sentences tell me what your book is about, that is a problem. If you do not know comp titles for your book, that is a problem. So once you've created your book and you've written your blurb and you're getting ready to do things, you have to have a pitch. We've done videos on how to do pitches, your elevator pitches for your books. We have the 1 sentence, the 2 sentence, the 3 sentence, the 5 sentence, the short paragraph, the way that you can build on these things. We break all that down for you. I've got videos on that, education tutorials, all of the things. And if you don't know it, that's going to cost you sales because you're going to run into people say, what's your book about? You're going to talk on social media and you have to talk about your book. People are going to confront you to wonder what your book is about and need to know a little bit more about it. You have to be able to get them that flash real quick. Here's what it's about. And then be able to expand on it if they ask follow-up questions. It is something you need to know. It is a little bit of an art form and we've got lots of videos on it. But if you don't know that pitch and if you don't know your comp titles, I'll say it, you're screwed. You have to make sure you know those or you will be costing yourself sales and you will be killing your career. So please, 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 for every single book, pitch it to me and in 2 sentences or less so that I know if that's going to be a good fit for me. Now, this one's a little bit dangerous. I see a lot of new authors creating friend groups of new authors without feeling those people out first. Like we just in this industry, we just want all the friends. We want to be friends with everybody. And when we meet new debut people, we just kind of like, we make collections of friends. We have groups of friends. We just pick everybody in. We just want to be friends. And that is great. We love that mindset. But please, for the love of all things, do not make friend groups without checking these people out first. So many of you in the last year have come to me with the rise of TikTok. We're seeing a lot of these debut authors kind of form groups and different relationships. And then a lot of these people turn out to be not great people to be around. Their personalities, their behavior, the way they're doing things, and people are trying to slowly back away and it's not working very well. Do not form groups. Do not form alliances. Do not form close friendships or relationships or rely on people without knowing them for many months first. It is okay to have people on the outer fringes of your friendship circles. By all means, chat once in a while, support each other, show friendship, like be there, the thing, but do not let them in your inner circle, like even anywhere near it. Like we're talking like 8 tiers out. Don't let them in close until you know who they are. You need to know that they are truly who they are. They are good human beings. They're not going to do anything that's going to hurt your reputation in this industry, and they're not going to go off the rails at any point. And I know some people won't show their true colors until later on, but do your due diligence, baby. Because if you just, and I do this too, I am very guilty of doing this. When I see people, I bring them into the circle. I just want to help everybody. It backfires so hard, especially in this industry. It's happened to me. It's happened to my friends, and it's happening to so many of you new authors who have been chatting with me over the last year. Please, please, please be careful of who you're letting into your circles. Keep people in the outer realms of your circles until you are sure that you're sure that you're sure that you're sure that you're sure that it's not going to be something that comes back to bite you. And another one that I see a lot of authors do is falling into social media trend traps. So often, especially with new people, they don't know how to market. They don't know what they're doing in this industry. They're just trying to establish their footing and figure out where they are in this space. And they will fall into the trap of doing trends. Trendy content on social media in general, but also trendy within the terms of the publishing space. If you fall into the trap of doing things that everybody else is doing, it means you're never going to get ahead. You're never going to succeed. And you're only going to get so far with your marketing. You have to be innovative. You have to be creative. You have to elevate what other people are doing. So if you are getting into the trendy space, elevate that. Don't just do what they're doing. And make sure you are doing more. You're growing beyond, because if you don't, you're not going to get very far in this industry. People who are complacent to just do what everybody else is doing only make so many sales. And we've talked about that a lot. We've talked about that a lot on this channel, on the main channel, youtube.com/KMRobinson. We have lots of conversations. I just had one recently about this. So drop your questions on this down below. Follow along for more mistakes that newbie authors are making and how you can correct them so that you can thrive in this space and not just try to survive. And we'll see you in the daily videos that we are putting out to help you navigate the world of publishing, from your writing to your publishing to your marketing, to make this your most profitable year ever with the least amount of stress and overwhelm and time commitment on the content you're creating. We'll see you then.